Hello, everyone. Welcome to Buddha Zen Wisdom. We are here to accompany you every day, living a life of extreme frugality, only to end up suffering the most. Why does this happen in life? There are always people who, in the name of saving, deliberately compress their own needs, depriving themselves of basic comforts in food, clothing, and daily necessities. While saving money is indeed a way to secure a safer future, if you take frugality to the extreme, life becomes an endless cycle of restraint and suppression. Let me share a personal story. Growing up, my parents always taught me to live frugally and budget meticulously. So, when I started college, I began saving money obsessively. When my roommates invited me to go shopping, I never joined. I wore the same old clothes from high school all year round. When classmates organized dinners, I always found excuses to skip them, fearing the cost of splitting the bill. I was labeled as stingy and miserly, and my peers distanced themselves from me. By the time I graduated and started working, my frugality had become almost pathological. I rented the cheapest apartment, ate the simplest meals, and had no social life. My life was devoid of joy. Looking back now, I realize how unnecessary all that was. Of course, we must acknowledge that for many ordinary people, life is not easy. Economic pressures, inadequate social security, children's education, and elderly parents' care are all issues that force people to budget carefully. Saving money is indeed an important way for ordinary people to cope with future uncertainties. As one netizen put it, the dignity of an adult is given by money. When your children need money for school or your parents fall ill, having savings can save you from the humiliation of borrowing money. This sense of security is irreplaceable. However, the question is, do we have to achieve the security through excessive frugality? Can we save money while also enjoying life? After all, life is short. We must prepare for the future, but we must also live in the present. My family wasn't poor. My parents had stable jobs, and later, my salary wasn't low either. I had enough to live comfortably, but my ingrained habit of frugality prevented me from enjoying life, wasting precious years. M.O. Yen, the Nobel Prize-winning author, once wrote, "Money unspent is just paper. Only when spent does it become money." In life, there are always people who deprive themselves excessively in the name of saving. Over-frugality can make one overlook the joys of life and even harm one's health. While saving is important, quality of life should not be ignored. Material things are necessities, and money is essential for expenses. Life is unpredictable, and misfortunes can strike at any time. Once you realize this, you understand that life is too short to be lived in constant deprivation. So, don't suppress yourself too much. Live a rich and fulfilling life. As long as conditions allow, there's nothing wrong with treating yourself well, without being wasteful. 1. Don't create hardship where there is none. Otherwise, you'll face endless suffering. A businessman named John once hired a young man who was exceptionally talented. John had high hopes for him, but after a few months, he noticed something was off. Initially, the young man was full of energy, but over time, he became increasingly lethargic, often calling in sick. Upon investigation, John discovered it was all due to the young man's extreme frugality. To save on rent, the young man lived in a remote area, commuting 4 hours daily. He was severely sleep-deprived. John suggested he move closer to the office, even offering a housing subsidy. The young man agreed but never acted on it, continuing his grueling commute. Seeing how the young man prioritized minor savings over his well-being and work, John concluded he lacked vision and eventually let him go. This story illustrates how focusing solely on saving money can lead to greater losses. My aunt, now in her 60s, is famously frugal. She has a decent pension but insists on saving every penny for future medical expenses. While her reasoning is sound, her extreme frugality has taken a toll on her health. She wears clothes until they're threadbare, refuses to see a doctor when ill, and self-medicates. Once, she fainted and was hospitalized, only to be diagnosed with severe malnutrition and anemia. As the saying goes, if you create hardship where there is none, you'll face endless suffering. Life is short, and every day we don't live fully is a disservice to ourselves. Instead of sacrificing life for the sake of saving, It's better to treat yourself generously. Mo Yin also shared a similar story. A classmate of his, while sorting through his late wife's belongings, found a brand new silk scarf. It was a luxury item they had bought during vacation, but his wife, always frugal, had saved it for a special occasion. She never got to wear it, and the price tag was still on it when she passed away. This story is both sad and thought-provoking. Don't save the best things for special days. Every day you're alive is special. Don't leave regrets in life. Those who treat themselves well have a better chance at a fulfilling life. Moderate spending isn't about encouraging extravagance, but learning to spend wisely in key areas. For example, annual health checkups. They're more cost-effective than treating illnesses after they occur. Balanced diet. Occasionally buying quality fruits and protein is an investment in health. Creating memories. Plan at least one family trip a year, even if it's short. Social investments. Dining out with friends or colleagues occasionally can build better relationships and even boost your career. 2. Smart people don't live discounted lives. A writer named Kevin once knew a couple who were extremely frugal. They rarely bought new clothes or shoes, never used skincare products, and never dined out. They saved most of their income, but felt their lives were joyless. In their late 30s, they looked like they were in their 60s. Kevin lamented, "The things you save by cutting corners no longer belong to you. Frugality isn't the goal, living is." He advised them to stop over-frugality, take care of their health, and enjoy the present. Truly smart people don't live discounted lives. When I worked at a multinational company, I had a fascinating female boss. One day, while shopping for Christmas gifts, she asked me why I didn't buy gifts for my family. I replied that my parents were frugal and believed that not spending money would ensure my future happiness. She then shared her own story. She used to be extremely frugal, living a tight life for years. Even when her parents visited, she wouldn't take them out for a nice meal. But after her mother fell seriously ill, she realized time waits for no one. From then on, she started budgeting wisely, setting aside savings while also enjoying life, traveling with family, dining out with friends, and buying gifts during holidays. Her life became richer, and she grew more confident and ambitious. Her career flourished. She found love and eventually got married. She said, "I don't advocate waste, but when you sacrifice the joys of life for the future, your life is discounted. If you sacrifice freedom and family, your life is further discounted. If you give up your desires and love, your life is halved. Even the richest life can't withstand such discounts." Indeed, choosing to live half-heartedly, even with ample resources, won't bring true happiness. Choosing to enjoy life, even with modest means, can make life extraordinary. Let go of hardship, and abundance will follow. Let go of stinginess, and blessings will come. How you choose to live isn't just a habit. It's a reflection of your wisdom and awareness. 3. A life that cannot be relived. Please love yourself well. There's an interesting concept called the latte factor, coined by financial advisor David Bach. He calculated that if you skip a 3.50 latte every day, you could save you over 3.50 latte every day. You could save you over 1,000 a year and hundreds of thousands over a lifetime. While this encourages saving, it has sparked debate. Some argue that the daily joy of a latte is worth more than $3.50. Others say, "Do you know how much that coffee means to a working professional?" Some even joke, "If you only eat the cheapest food, you could save even more." But what's the point of such savings? Small indulgences, like a treat or a little luxury, can make life more bearable and joyful. Allowing yourself to live well isn't selfish. It's an act of self-love and acceptance. Only those who love and accept themselves can find true happiness in this vast world. I know a woman who works at a real estate company. Her job is demanding, with long hours, frequent overtime, and constant business trips. Even on her rare days off, she's bombarded with work calls. Yet, she lives a fulfilling life because she's willing to spend on herself. She buys clothes she loves, enjoys expensive meals, and occasionally treats herself to flowers. She lives boldly and confidently, investing in herself through certifications, skills, and books. As British psychotherapist Marissa Peer said, Loving yourself means taking care of yourself in moderation, neither overly restrained nor excessively indulgent. It means planning for the future without sacrificing present happiness. Achieving this balance makes happiness inevitable. As the philosopher Zheng Shurqiang once said, life is an assembly line where every second counts. Life is long. Being a few minutes late doesn't matter. Many people's lives are ruined by these few minutes. They don't understand why. Despite their meticulous budgeting, they grow poorer and more miserable. When life is too tight, troubles multiply. This isn't to say frugality is wrong, but it must be balanced. Spend wisely, especially on treating yourself well. True wisdom lies in finding a balance, saving for the future while enjoying the present. Don't shortchange yourself, and life will be generous in return. For retirement doesn't require much money to live a fulfilling life. I'm 55, retired for 5 years, and living on a modest pension. My husband is still working, and I've chosen to stay home, pursuing my hobbies. With just the two of us, I've found that retirement life doesn't need to be expensive to be fulfilling. I love this quote from Emoyen. You're already very fortunate, well-fed, well-clothed, free from illness and disaster, occasionally enjoying good food and sleeping in. Your plump face radiates good fortune. Retirement happiness isn't about money, but about emotional stability and peace of mind. As 2025 begins, I'm enjoying the slow pace of retirement. This past New Year was one of the happiest in years because my daughter stayed with us for 3 days. Most years, it's just my husband and me, experiencing the loneliness of empty nesters. My daughter is busy with her own life, and we rarely see her. This year's visit was a rare joy. My husband still has a few years before retirement, but I've embraced my hobbies, living a leisurely and happy life. Friends envy my carefree retirement. No elderly parents to care for, no grandchildren to babysit. While this lack of responsibility is a blessing, it's also a regret. My in-laws passed away early, and my daughter has always been independent. So I've never had the experience of being a grandmother. Watching friends and colleagues become grandparents, I feel a pang of envy, but my husband and I live simply. Our breakfasts are usually noodles or porridge with buns from the cafeteria. Lunches are more elaborate, with 3 or 4 dishes, and weekends feature dumplings, my husband's favorite. I'm a Southern woman, more skilled with delicate dishes than Northern staples like dumplings. Cooking together has become our tradition. As the saying goes, breakfast like a king, lunch like a prince, dinner like a pauper. Living in a company housing complex, we often buy breakfast from the cafeteria. My husband jokes that their pastries are better than mine, but my stir-fries are unmatched. Retirement has given me time to hone my cooking skills, and even my daughter compliments my culinary prowess. Some colleagues continue working after retirement, but I've chosen to stay home, pursuing my passions. I believe that health is wealth, and there's no shortage of food in retirement, only excess. Finding hobbies and sticking to them makes retirement fulfilling. My husband often worries about our daughter's future and our savings, advocating for a minimalist lifestyle. But I believe that no amount of money is ever enough. Our daughter's dowry doesn't need to be extravagant. Young people should forge their own paths. As for our retirement savings, a little is enough. Even $1 million can't guarantee a worry-free retirement. As long as we're healthy, we're rich. Retirement doesn't require much money. With love and intention, life can be vibrant and fulfilling. It's not about the size of your pension or savings, but about the companionship and health you enjoy. My husband works, and I take care of the home, preparing meals and enjoying our simple, happy life. I cherish solitude, spending my days reading, writing, practicing Tai Chi, cooking, and brewing tea for my husband. Retirement has allowed me to focus on my own life, savoring the small joys. As Yang Jiang, the renowned writer, said, happiness is about nurturing your heart, not pleasing others. Learning to accept life's gifts and finding contentment is the key to a peaceful and happy retirement. In my golden years, I want nothing more than to stay by my husband's side, enjoying the sunset together. In simplicity, we find joy, reading, practicing Tai Chi, and sharing stories. When we're too old to go anywhere, I'll sing folk songs to him, and he'll recount tales of his youth. This is the life I envision for us. A 73-year-old woman shares her story. Without children or a spouse, I've chosen to live independently rather than depend on my nephew. 3 years ago, my nephew took me in, hoping I'd give up my apartment for his son's wedding. I refused, knowing that once I gave it up, I'd never get it back. My nephew argued that my 3-bedroom apartment was too much for me alone, but I stood my ground. Now, living with him, I've realized that non-biological children rarely treat you with genuine care. After 3 months of feeling like a burden, I decided to return to my own home. I've hired a part-time helper, renovated my home for safety, and embraced a new chapter of independence. My nephew was shocked by my transformation, but I've learned that relying on others only leads to disappointment. Without children or a spouse, it's better to live independently and with dignity. Thank you for watching. If today's content resonated with you, please subscribe so we can accompany you every day. Let's grow, find happiness, and age gracefully together. See you next time.